Good afternoon and welcome to Sunday Night League Round 12, the finale that you've all been waiting for here at Suzuka. Let's have a look at our starting grid for this evening. We'll start there and then we'll have a look at the championship table. So starting on pole is GT Racer. Digital Blasphemy makes up the rest of the front row. Second row we have CRL Digweed with Jacques Jajar. Gazman starts in fifth with Wolfbane in sixth. Alexis Maximus starts seventh with Guesty in eighth. Ninth is Noxie and Pulaski in 10th with SNL Jam in 11th. Unfortunately, our championship leader, Cthulhu, couldn't join this race due to some technical difficulties, but we'll see it all to play for. They're currently leading the championship. Will this change things around in terms of the points? Who knows? But let's have a look at the championship tables after last round. So after that, we had Cthulhu was holding on to that championship lead with 198 points. SNL Jam was in second with 171. Alexis Maximus 128. So quite some even spacing we've got there between the top three. We'll see if there's any margin for moving around within the top three. Noxie is in fourth with 108, closely followed by Matt Psycho with 101 points in fourth. Jacques Jajar in sixth with 100 points. Could see some change between Noxie and Jacques Jajar in this one. Perhaps we will find out, I am sure. Little's GP with 94 points in seventh. Pulaski in eighth with 82. Joint with GT Racer, who also has 82 points going into this. So we want to keep an eye out on those two drivers. Certainly. Guesty starts with 76 points in 10th, with Digweed in 11th with 68, Digital Blasphemy 64 in 12th, 13th is Wolfbane with 58, Pheasant Plucker in 14th with 56, Intulio with 43, my apologies, in 15th. Tommy Paines is in 16th in the championships with 35, closely followed by VRC Jim in 17th with 33. Then Gazman with 23 points. I'm Stupid with 14th. In 19th, joint 20th is Pat's 96 and GDE Trust with 12. And at the back is OKC Ranger. At the championship for the teams, though, Red Bull is storming ahead with 306 points. In first, Alpine have 255, In second, Aston Martin somewhat closer behind with 224 in third. Ferrari have 220, even closer in fourth. Fifth is Williams with 218, Mercedes 212 in sixth, and McLaren in seventh with 190. So still all very much to play for. In the team standings, we'll have a look at the end of this race to see where that has moved all around and see who actually is the championship winner for both the teams and the drivers. Now, as I mentioned, here we are today at Suzuka. Our finale indeed. We'll be looking at some rather nice weather, it seems. The tyre options available to those teams or those drivers who are using the Bridgestone compound are the Alpine, the McLaren, and the Red Bull. They have the option of the super softs and the hards. Now, the Michelin teams, that's Aston Martin, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Williams, have the option of the mediums and the hards. So Bird Tyre is getting the mandatory hard tyre compound, but the Bridgestones get the super softs and the Michelins get the mediums. Quite the difference in grip levels between the two. We'll certainly see. It wouldn't surprise me if the driver that finishes with the fastest lap is one of the Bridgestone teams with the super soft available to them. Now we will have about 42 laps here, each is about 3.61 miles and a total of 17 corners. Counted them myself. No warnings or things to note from the stewards other than just make sure that when you're exiting the pit exit, don't cross that white line as stated in the rules and regs. So without further ado, let's get this race underway. Starting at the very front of the grid, as previously mentioned, we have GT Racer in their McLaren with Digital Blasphemy in second. Wait for the lights to go out. In a second now. Drivers are ready, waiting to go. Any minute, any second. There we go, and away we go. Great start there from GT Racer. Digweed gets a little bit of a bad start there. It gives way for Digital Blasphemy to come up into second after the first. My apologies, the other way around. Digweed gets a lightning start off there, giving way to just Blasphemy, falling back into third position. Wolfsbane, the other Alpine, is fighting for position in the fourth there, with Pileski taking in sixth. Jacques Chajard falling back into sixth. Holding on there as we move through the first few corners. Bit of a train already starting between these drivers here. Let's have a look back up the rest of the grid. GT Racers still holding on to that lead after the first few corners. No challenges just yet, although Digweed getting very close to the rear bumper. That goes quite a bit wide. Might have lost a bit of speed, but I'm not too sure if they have as they come into the hairpin. Goes for the outside line, maybe trying to get a bit more exit speed. Try and cut that corner a bit wider, but the hazard's flashing for some unbeknownst reason there from Digweed. GT Racers still managing to hold on to that first position. Digweed trying to go for the inside line, gets cut off by GT Racer. We'll see if they manage to hold on as we come through these last few corners before onto the straight. The only real bit of straight here, that again goes over the rest of the track. Pileski having managed to make their way up into third position. Doing very well there. GT Racer probably getting a bit more speed out of that corner, so he's managed to pull a bit away from Digweed. He's previously right behind them. Pileski in third, Digital Blasphemy in fourth. Although we've got a driver going off in the distance there. Looked like Jacques Chajard may have overshot themselves, got a bit too quick into that corner and has lost quite a number of places. Digital Blasphemy under attack from CSL Wolfbane. So they go side by side into turn one. Wolfbane with the inside line takes fourth position away from Digital Blasphemy, just drops one position there. They'll try and play that a little bit safe. Let's look down the back of the line. So SNL Jam did start at the back of the grid, now up into sixth position. They'll be wanting to get a championship win after this race to see if they can get any closer. Cthulhu, who's currently our championship leader, not able to dial into this race here or join due to some technical difficulties, so plenty of points up and available for SNL Jam. Now Digweed going down to the inside line here, has to back out as GT Racer just slams the door shut, but it does mean they get a better, little bit of bump in there, so nobody's lost any positions. Did get a better exit out of that hairpin, but unfortunately having bumped into GT Racer. Just got a bit too wide there. Could have gone off, but managed to save onto it, holding on to that one. It's doing very well here. And they're under attack now from Pileski in the Williams. Those Williams have got a lot more brute force going down these straights. And they might be able to wingle their way past, or wangle their way past even Digweed. Still with the hazards going, not too sure what they're going for. Can they go any maneuver down here? No, runs a little bit wide. Managed to stay behind, but they've got the inside line going into here. Heavy braking point. Just manages to steal that apex away from GT Racer. He does try to come in and shut the door, just not enough to keep them behind. Now Digweed has been unleashed, already storming off the front there. Pileski now down side by side, going on the inside line into the first corner. Holds on to that second position. Just takes it. Nicely done there. GT Racer falling down 2 positions already on this lap 3 of our 42 lap race. Still plenty to play for. Could make a comeback here. Who knows? Wolfsbane in fourth at the moment. Bit of a glitching going on there at the moment. Digital Blasphemy in fourth. Guesty trying to fight off SNL Jam, who have made their way up into sixth, I believe, now down into seventh. Aston Martin, the only Aston Martin in today's race. So they'll be trying to get as much points as they possibly can for the team, given how close that midfield battle is for the team championship. Have we got any changes up in the field at the moment? No, Digweed has stormed absolutely way ahead of the rest of the pack. Pileski is still in second. GT Racer just falling into suit there. No, the Guesty just keeping ahead of SNL Jam. Not sure if they are close enough. Let's have a little look-see on board as we go into straight. Got a good exit out of that corner there from SNL Jam, right on the transmission of Guesty. Can they get any maneuver done or any overtake done before the corner? Very bold there. Guesty having to go a little bit wide to give Jam a little bit of room on that inside, but doesn't manage to get that overtake done. So Guesty holds on to that. SNL Jam, I think, just clipping a bit of the apex, a bit too much there, lost quite a bit of speed and has actually let Lexus Maximus through. So SNL Jam down into 8th position, did start 11th in the grid, managed to make their way up to 6th, but has dropped back down to 8th. Still though, got another 38 laps to go, plenty of time to make a resurgence. Our leaderboard looking at the top, all starting to spread out, not too much going on there at the moment. We have a little look see at what tyre compounds these drivers are playing with. So our leader at the moment, Digweed, is on the Supers. Poleski, who's taken quite a number of positions in this race, is on the medium compound. That medium coming very well into play here. The GT Racer is on the Supers as well. Surprising they were able to lost out a bit there with Poleski on the mediums. Just probably shows that difference between the McLaren and the Williams this far into the championship, particularly with that token system where teams are able to buy additional power and also lighten the car. The Williams team have done quite well with the token spending. I'm not sure how those McLarens have fared, but clearly doesn't seem to have paid off. Maybe we'll have another look-see at that token system next season, or drivers will be a bit more key as to what options are best to spend. So Wolfsbane in 4th at the moment, though, hunting down the back of GT Racer. Interestingly, Wolfsbane on the hard compound here. Now drivers have to use both sets of compounds available to them. Oh, just getting a little bit wide there from Wolfsbane. I think we have a little bit of a glitch there. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I did think the GT Racer had gone a little bit wide. I thought it might have lost it going through the first 2 corners, but managed to hold on to it. Now all drivers have to use both sets of compounds available to them. Interesting that Wolfsbane has already started on the hard compound. They can get that right out the way, and being the Alpine, it does mean that they have the super softs available to them now for the rest of the race. They've done their stint on the hard compound. Digital Blasphemy, the 2 Mercedes there. Now those 2 Mercedes will be wanting to make sure they've got plenty of points coming into this, or rather leaving this race, as Mercedes are very much stuck in the middle of that kind of mid-team battle. They're on 212 points, but Williams ahead of them and Ferrari on 218 and 220 respectively. Not that far away. Could be in for a good haul of points. Even more so, they could manage to reach that Aston Martin. Only one Aston Martin in this race at the moment, and they're on 224 points. So could see quite the jump from the Mercedes team if they do well. 5th and 6th at the moment. Could we see some team orders from the pair of them that telling them to try and keep SNL Jam behind in the Alpine? Now Alpine are currently 2nd with 255. Don't think there's much they can really do to try and beat that 225 at the moment. So it could be okay for them to slip past, but SNL Jam is currently holding up that Williams of Noxie, who are the immediate contenders of the Mercedes. So if they keep as much traffic between them and the Williams as possible, happy days. Let's have a look at our current leader, still Digweed, although Poleski is raking them in. Get a little bit of the back end out there. No additional points for drifting, I'm afraid, even if it is Japan, home of the drifting. No additional points. What a shame. Who knows? Maybe next season. Strongly doubt it. Rather key for these 2 corners here. Pays off to have a very late apex going into those 2 sets of corners. Oof. Bit of daydreaming, I think, there from Poleski. They just seem to nonchalantly wander onto the grass and has probably lost quite a bit of speed. No, apparently not. Oh, even trying to go for a bit of a lunge there. A bit of squirm. Oh, no, they just got on the accelerator a bit too early, and the back end stuck itself out with their front right still on the grass, just pivoting the whole car around that point. And they really have lost quite a bit of speed now at this point. They were all the way on the bumper of Digweed, but now they've fallen quite a bit behind. Let's have a look down the leaderboard. What's gone on there? It looked like we had a bit of an off from the Aston Martin. So let's go back. No, we've got a yellow. Who was that yellow for? So one of the drivers has managed to go off. We had the Williams of Noxie. Oh no, that's not going to do them any wonders for that championship points. Unfortunately, now they've got to make their way back on. They're stuck in that gravel, and that gravel is going to be just glued to their tyres for quite a bit. Oof, lighten them up there as well. Let's go look back ahead of the rest of the group. I think we had another spin here. Yes, we did. It was a spin of Wolfbane, the Alpine. No! Oh, what a shame. Wolfbane dropping down to 7th, past their teammate SNL Jam. So we've had 2 spins already on lap 6, I believe that was, as we just moved into lap 7 now. Not what we want to be seeing this early on, although a number of these drivers are on the harder compound tyre available to them. They'll be waiting to be done and over with these compounds as soon as they possibly can, so they can get onto those much stickier super soft or mediums, whichever the team is available. Pileski having caught back up to Digweed, coming leaps and bounds, really making those medium tyres work for them. The Digweed, that Red Bull, is looking like it's worn its front tyres down quite a bit, but that's to be expected on the super softs. They are, although more grippy, they do wear down quite a bit. Now with the left indicator, so we've moved away from the hazards and we're now just on the left indicator for Digweed there. Not sure what they're trying to gain from that at all. Jacques Jajal has got SNL Jam in their sights. Oh, bit slow out of the corner there from the McLaren GT Racer. SNL Jam all over the back of them. Could we get an overtake? He's going to go for it. Goes to grab that apex. Goes to grab the apex. Sends GT Racer a little bit wide. Does go to compensate, try and make sure they leave enough room. GT Racer taking quite an interesting line through there, and again going a little bit wide on the resultant. Does look like GT Racer into the pits. The supers are looking pretty knackered at the moment. Now Guesty, who had a little bit of an off, has managed to get back up into 8th. Gazman also into the pits. Will we see any of our leaders choosing to pit? Now we've got just over a quarter of a tank there on board from the Digweed, although their tyres are suffering quite a bit. We'll have a look. See, they are very much under threat from Pileski at the moment, who on the medium compound is sitting pretty in terms of a life expectancy left. But at the moment, no incidents, he says, from Digweed. With those rather worn super softs, they could hold off for another couple of laps, which will mean they can replenish their fuel and also change their tyres at the same time. So we're just going to jump down here. So Noxie, who did go off into the gravel, now having a look-see at the back of Guesty in the Aston Martin. I reckon we could have another overtake here. Just very, very key to get a good amount of exit speed out of that corner. It really sets you up as you go onto the back straight just here. At the moment, it looks like Pileski is managing, rather Digweed is managing to keep Pileski behind. A little bit of a love tap there from the Williams. Nothing too untoward though. Just drops a little bit after going through that chicane. Williams are usually quite a bit punchier. You can certainly see they're the type of car that is able to vie for that championship lead. They've done quite well in the points, or rather towards the end of the season. They're struggling, I think, a little bit with drivers at the beginning, just not able to keep hold of them. But that is a very strong car, that Williams. Oh, look at that, so close to the back of Digweed. Can't see why they wouldn't be able to overtake them. Now, very difficult to follow though in these cars. You lose all any essence of front end grip. Just think Digweed going for a bit of a wander there, almost went onto the grass, tried to go for a little look-see, try and go for that lunge, didn't really pay off there, unfortunately for Pileski. Let's have a little go on board as we go into lap 10. Looks like Pileski is currently holding on to the fastest lap, a 1:33.04. I don't think they were expecting Digweed to be braking so much there. Clearly that Williams is able to hold a lot more speed through that corner, particularly on those mediums, much more than the probably horrendously worn super softs of Digweed out in front. Very well done to hold off and not go completely into the back of Digweed. But they will be certainly aware of the fact that that is, yeah, you can just see they're backing out of that one. No, Digweed's gone off! Digweed, I think, just, the grip has really gotten to Digweed there, and not able to hold onto it. Unfortunately, those tyres are looking terrible. Under pressure from Pileski for so long, it was only a matter of time before those tyres would fall off the cliff that they have done. Just goes a little bit wide, manages to bring it back onto the track though, so very well done there. Unfortunately, has lost that first position, not by too much. Will they take this as an opportunity or as a thought to go, I need me some new tyres? Let's hope they do as we round the last few corners now. Looking back at the grid, we did have Jacques Jajar under attack from Wolfbane. Wolfbane still glitching just a little bit there. Hopefully they've got an appointment booked with their physiotherapist next with all that whiplash they're going to get. Looks like Pileski's into the pits as well as Digweed. Wasn't expecting Pileski to come in so soon. There must have been, yeah, look at that, 7 litres, gallons, whatever measurement they use here for GT Sport, let's say litres, of fuel left. They'll, or percentage rather, isn't it? Yeah, because they're going up to 100. A number of drivers actually into the pits, including the two on board. Digital Blasphemy, the only driver to have stayed out. They do have, though, a quarter of a tank of fuel and some rather neat looking mediums. There's a bit of wear, but one previous owner, careful. They're not too bad at the moment. Pileski comes out in front of Digweed. They've opted again for the medium compound. Noxie, the other Williams, behind them. I suspect we maybe could see a bit of team play here, as Noxie may have to hold Digweed back. Just give Pileski enough time to really put those mediums to good use. And although Digweed on some fresh supers, I'm not too sure how much they will be able to. Oh, look at that. Great line through there. Will they get the overtake done before the end? No, they don't. They just gives them a bit too much room. Bit too kind there. Would have slammed the door, but they've not managed to get past, unfortunately. They'll be wanting to get through and past Noxie as quickly as possible to overtake Pileski up ahead. Really utilise those super softs and the grip available straight off of that as quickly as possible before they deteriorate. Knowing full well that the Williams and Pileski's only really got the mediums and the hards to play with. Digital Blasphemy still staying out, no surprises there. Picking up maybe a few. Noxie has come into the pits, which means Digweed. There is now nothing but clean air between them and Pileski. Guesty also into the pits. Alexis Maximus taking 4th position along with SNL Jam up into 5th, and we see a few blue flags being flown in the background there. Ooh, Gazman just going off. Was that a bit of a nudge? We were maybe. Let's have a look. Following the McLaren of GT Racer in their Ferrari. Do they go for a bit of a? Ooh, just. Oh, they managed to hold on. It goes for the lunge. Oh, just no. Unfortunately, it's still too much speed. Did manage to do all the braking before, and they've outbraked themselves. Unfortunately having lost that position, probably lost quite a bit of time between themselves and the GT racer that they were battling. Digital Blasphemy making quick work there. Absolute miles ahead for the rest of the pack, but they have not pitted yet. It does look like they are on about just over 1/8 of a tank of fuel. That could be another lap left in them. I'm sure they've got some, yeah, they've got another lap left in those mediums. They're not looking too damaged. Just looking, so number of the drivers all pitting on lap 11. Could this be a 2-stop or even a 3-stop race? We'll have to see, but most of the drivers now having completed their first pit of the race. Zaleski really pulling out, let's see what they got here. So their fastest so far was a 1:33.04. They did a 1:33.8, however, not good enough. Digweed setting a new fastest there, 1:32.332. They are really settling into that car with those super softs, really battling now. He should be catching up to Zaleski in absolutely no time at all, I would expect, with that pace. Just a whole second taken out between themselves. Oh, runs a little bit wide. It keeps it on the track though. Probably only lost a couple of tenths there, but keeps it on the track. That's the key important bit there. Let's have a bit of a look down the rest of the track. At the moment, battling for 4th position, you've got Lexus Maximus and SNL Jam. However, even further down the grid, you've got the McLaren of GT Racer. Gazman having to manage to get past, surprisingly, after that bit of an off. Perhaps GT Racer also had an off. Who knows? Guesty down in 11th at the moment, following the back of the McLaren. So, Zaleski still in second. Ooh, maybe a little bit of a, not the best line out of there from Alexis Maximus, as they SNL Jam closing the gap slowly but surely. Let's have a look at those times. Yeah, SNL Jam is setting a 1:33.7 on those supers. But remember, Alexis Maximus only set a 1:34. They are on the medium. That's the grippiest tyre compound they've got available to them, unfortunately. But a number of the drivers, particularly Pulaski, is really making the medium work for them against the supers. They overtook a considerable number of drivers, those of whom were on the super soft right at the beginning of the race, when everybody had fresh tyres. So really, it's driver and car dependent as to who makes what tyre compound work for them. Not seeing too much. Just a little bit too slow there, I think, from Alexis Maximus into that one. Managed to correct themselves, but they've lost a bit of gap to SNL Jam. Let's go on board with SNL Jam. Will we see? Goes a bit slower on that sector. Can we see an overtake here from SNL Jam? Just drifting through that corner, very nice there. Keeping an eye on the leaderboard, see if we've got any. Had a look at the inside there. That door was left wide open. Oh, he's left it even more open there. Just gets on the accelerator a bit too early out of the hairpin and sends the back end flying around. Unfortunate for Alexis Maximus, but Mercedes aren't really battling the Alpine in the championship, nor is Alexis Maximus battling SNL Jam. There's about 50 odd points between the two of them, so not too much there. Digital Blasphemy into the pits after pitting quite late compared to the other drivers who all pitted a good 2-3 laps prior. Now, will that pay off for them, having that later pit stop? Can they go for a much shorter middle pit stop sector, whatever you want to call it, really? Zaleski, though, has stormed ahead in first, leaving Digweed very much in the dust behind. Might be difficult for him to close the gap before these supers start to fall off a cliff in terms of grip, unfortunately. Both drivers with equal amounts of fuel on board. Let's take a little look-see back down the rest of the grid order. We've got the Williams of Noxie fighting down the back of the Mercedes in digital blasphemy. And once again, we've got Guesty looking at just following behind Gazman. See if they make any mistakes. GT Racer in McLaren having fallen back to 11th now. They had started at the front of the grid. They did hold their position for quite a number of laps, actually, fending off a number of drivers. But ultimately fallen back to 11th. Now, just not enough of a line there to get past from Guesty, trying to overtake Gazman through the hairpin. Paleski still out in front. Those two drivers absolutely leaving behind. We've got three drivers though, all back to back. We have got SNL Jam, Alexis Maximus and Wolfbane. So the two Alpines of SNL Jam and Wolfbane making a lovely sandwich with the filling of Alexis Maximus Mercedes. Not sure that's the best place he wants to be, but with both Alpines this far up into the points, this will be a very good haul for them. Maybe not enough to catch the Red Bull. Remember, Red Bull's on 306 points, whereas Alpine is only on 255. But there is only one Red Bull, I believe, in the race tonight. Oh, Wolfbane just getting past Alexis Maximus. Let's have a little look back at that. So, Wolfbane following. Let's go on board. Oh, Alexis Maximus goes a little bit too wide there, and Wolfbane says, "Thank you very much, I'll have that." Does get a bit squirrely putting the accelerator down. Knows best not to put it all down all at once, and gets the overtake done very nicely. SNL Jam up into third at the moment, with Wolfbane, their teammate, in fourth. Both drivers on the super soft available to them. Now, will we see any drivers trying to go for a much longer stint with those hards? I think any of the drivers, they're either trying to avoid those hard compound. No, digital blasphemy's on the hard tyre compound. So they pitted quite late compared to everybody else. Be interesting to see if they're going to go for a very, very long stint in the middle with those hard compound, with that hard compound of tyre. Remember, the Mercedes do have available to them the hard tyre, but also the medium. I would imagine they'll do a middle stint, on the hard compound, and then they'll jump onto the medium later. Ooh, a little bit wide there, just riding that curve from Paleski. Not sure that's the most ideal thing they want to be doing at the moment. Tigweed still in second, but it looks like they might be closing that gap. A few little errors here and there from Paleski has probably brought that gap down a bit more. Still with the left indicator on. Not sure what point they're trying to prove. Oh, Wolfbane just going a bit too wide over the curve there, stepped out and touched the grass. Managed to keep it from forming into a full tag slapper. Just really struggling to get that power down, I think, at the rears. That rear left looking a little bit more worse than the rear right. See how they fare. But at the moment, both Alpines in a good shout of points. Jacques Jajan, the lone Ferrari there, on the medium tyre compound, up in sixth. Noxie, Williams were doing rather well at one point during this race, but I think the pit stops, the strategy, they've really suffered and have dropped back a couple of positions. The Paleski, the other Williams, still up in first, but we had Noxie was also quite up in the league. Now they'll be wanting to get a good amount of points to jump their way through the championship. I think it's all about that middle battle for the team championship there. There's not too many points between them. It's certainly enough for one race win, could flip the whole balance. Let's go back to our Yeah, you can just looking at the little triangles there at the top between Pileski and Digweed, and that's really closing that gap down. Wolfbane seems holding off behind their fellow teammate SNL Jam. SNL Jam currently in third in the championship. My apologies, not even third, they're second. How dare I? They're currently sitting second in the championship with 171. Cthulhu, who's not in the race, 198. I'm not sure if a wins about 25 points, is enough to flip them around, even with the fastest lap. Might just be a point or two too short to take that championship away from Cthulhu, unfortunately. Wolfbane following very well, though Wolfbane fuel light has just come on. They will need to pit at some point in the very near future. I suspect, looking at how much SNL Jam's got, that they'll need to pit as well. Might see a double stack from the Alpine teams as they try and get both SNL Jam and Wolfbane done in the same pit stop. Oh, it looks like Digweed maybe has had a bit of an off, or he's trying to clear this traffic. You've got the McLaren of GT Racer just getting a few blue flags there. That gap has opened right back up again, unfortunately. Ooh, just getting a bit of a lock up there on the front left under braking. Going into the right before the hairpin. That's not what you really want to be doing. Who have we got here battling? So Digital Blasphemy being hounded down by Guesty at the moment. Digital Blasphemy having pitted much later and off. Oh no, they've gone off. Let's take a little look at what happened there. I think they've just run a little bit too wide. Got a wheel or two onto the gravel. Yeah, there's no way they were able to turn in anymore for that one. Got a bit too wide, lost that position to Guesty. So Guesty overtakes Digital Blasphemy for 8th position. Gazman still in 10th and GT Racer in 11th. Though I believe I did see GT Racer jumping into the pits, which means... no, so there's still traffic between Digweed and Pileski. You've got the... where have they disappeared to? There's two cars between them. I'm not totally sure who they may be. It would appear to be the Ferrari of Gazman and GT Racer's McLaren. So still forming a traffic between Pileski and Digweed. Not something Digweed's going to be wanting, but everything Pileski's going to be wanting. SNL Jam and Wolfbane are both into the pits for a Alpine double stack. Now, Pileski's fuel light has come on there, as has Digweed's, who's had a bit of an accident, it seems, as their front wing has suffered a bit of damage. That should clear, but it will send them back in, slow them down a bit for quite some time. They are still holding on to the fastest lap at the moment, though. So they will get an extra point for that if they can hold on. Only 22 laps left of this race. Our finale for the Sunday Night League Formula X. Pileski into the pits. Whatever tyre compound will they go for? Will Digweed stay out, or will Digweed come into the pits? Ooh, felt a little bit like a last minute decision there, but into the pits they did come. Leaving Alexis Maximus. No, I think Alexis Maximus as well will also come into the pits. Question is, though, how many pit stops are our drivers going to be doing? I think we might see a few of them going for the 3-stop, as if they pitted on lap 11 and then again on lap 20, 21. Yeah, it might be the 3 stops. They don't think they'll be able to get those hard compounds or even the fuel to see them to the end of the race. Pileski is the first one out of the pits, back onto the mediums, with Digweed out on the hards this time. So Digweed clearly getting rid of that need to use both tyre compounds, with the hard being the other mandatory tyre compound available to both teams. Now Pileski will have to use that hard compound. I'm not sure if they have used it yet. They've, at the moment, been on the medium the whole time. They will need to use that hard. Could this be some good strategy and tactics from the Red Bull of Digweed, where they've got on the hard tyre at the moment now, so by the time they actually get to pit next, they're still managing to hold on to the coattails of Pileski. If Pileski swaps to those hards and Digweed's on the supers, there is such a gap in grip level between those two compounds that it could be enough for Digweed to just reel Pileski back in again. Oh no, not if they do that! Digweed running a bit too wide there. You could just see they got a few of the outside wheels onto the gravel. I thought they might be able to hold on to it as the track came back to them, but unfortunately it did not, and they've lost a ton of speed through that corner there. Now Pileski still holding on to that first. Noxie now into the pits. Noxie's the other Williams. CSL Wolfbane and SNL Jam second and third. We've got Alpine 2-3 at the moment. Like, phenomenal about points that would be. They just need to hunt down Pileski if they can. Digweed, after having that little off, is still in fourth, although Guesty, it would appear, is not too far behind them. Guesty just kicks up a bit of dirt there as they hook themselves round that right-hander as they dip their front right into a bit of gravel, sending up a whole ton of dust. They did very well to hold on to that. That could have gotten very messy very quickly. Oh, does the same hit? Can they? No, they managed to hold on to it. I was so worried that they were going to go a bit too wide there. Fortunately, holding on to that one, and they are really fighting for grip with these mediums. Mediums are absolutely dead for them. They're about half warm. That rear left is looking pretty dire, and they got a fuel light flashing at them. I think they're going to have to come into the pits for this point in the race. They're not going to be able to really get much more out of those tyres. It's absolutely shocking they've let them get that bad. But we've seen some drivers that really, once the tyres start going off, they really seem to find a rhythm to it. It seems to settle, bed themselves in even. Now, will Digweed get any benefit out of this one? I'm afraid I don't think so. Both the two Alpines are way too far ahead for any sort of slipstreaming effect. Not a great track for getting any slipstream, unfortunately, but looking off into the distance there, you've got the Digital Blasphemy and Lexus Maximus Mercedes sitting in 5th and 6th, so doing very, very well there. Guesty into the pits, Noxie up into 7th at the moment. They pit for a fresh set of tyres. Be interesting to see where they finish and where they'll bring the Williams up. Williams sitting on 218. They could jump Aston Martin, who are only on 224, and they've only got the one driver in. Their other driver, Pileski, is sitting in first and has been there for quite a little bit. They could be holding on to that first position for the whole race. We'll have to wait and see. We're already over halfway through our race this evening. It's certainly all still to play for, not only for this race, but for the championship. Let's have a little look, see at the back what's going on there. You've got Jacques Chazard, the Ferrari, now hounding down Gazman, who's also in the Ferrari. Did I say earlier there was only one Ferrari here? I might have lied. There's two Ferraris, look at that. So, at the moment, it's surprising that Gazman hasn't let hasn't let Jacques Jajar through. Jacques Jajar currently sitting in the points with 100 points in 6th. There is every opportunity that they could jump Noxie. They just need to get past Gazman and Guesty. Noxie is currently, there we go, I think we saw a bit of an indicator on there to say, please go through. Although, not lifting off too much there from Gazman, it seems. I thought they might have let their teammate through in the interest of points in the championship. But apparently not. Noxie's on 108 points. So only 8 points all the way around between themselves and Jacques Jajar. But there are quite a few positions that Jacques Jajar would have to make up to actually get past. We've got a whole clump of drivers here, all going through. We've got the 2 Mercedes, it seems, of Digital Blasphemy and Alexis Maximus, but you've got Noxie and Nat Williams hunting down the back of Alexis Maximus, who is on the hard compound, whereas Noxie on the medium, slightly more grippy, but that hard compound is not your friend in any situation. You want to get rid of that one as quickly as possible. Alexis Maximus looked like they were going to consider going for an overtake there, going a bit quicker than their teammate, Digital Blasphemy. Having to slow down quite a bit, leaving them in the clutches of Noxie. They are desperately trying to get away from them. Now, Noxie with tow from 2 Mercedes here. Could that be enough to slingshot them round? Don't think it will be. Oh, Alexis Maximus just manages to get through Digital Blasphemy there. Now it's up to Digital Blasphemy, probably, to hold Noxie back as much as possible. We're playing for points here now, coming down to the last race. This is it. You only got this one race left to make it all up for it. It's really deciding the championship here and now. Not to put too much pressure on Digital Blasphemy there, but I'm sure if you could hold off Noxie, it will, although Pileski with the other Williams is doing phenomenally so far throughout this race. Oh, not spoke too soon there. Unfortunately, looks like Digital Blasphemy's left that door wide open going into that hairpin there. Not sure what they were playing at. Oh, that's a bit aggressive from Digital Blasphemy. I'm pretty certain they knew that Noxie was there. They just give him a bit of a nudge. Noxie doing very well to hold on to the car as they got a little back wheel onto the gravel. Did very well to keep it on the track. They'll be coming back for blood at the now after that little incident. Wouldn't surprise me if they try and make a move here. Go down the inside line. No. Will they try and flip around to the inside and go for a lunge? Don't even have to. They go deep on the brakes, take the outside line, giving you the inside on the next corner, and say thank you very much, and have that from Digital Blasphemy. What a brilliant overtake there from Noxie. Very well played out there. Now they got to hunt down Alexis Maximus. Looking back at our leader, doing very well. They've built up quite the sizable lead between themselves and CSL Wolfbane, who's currently residing in 2nd. SNL Jam in the other Alpine is in 3rd at the moment, drifting their way through the hairpin, it seems. Again, no additional points, unfortunately, but you should definitely get points for style. Digweed in the Red Bull was currently running in 2nd and had Hack Pileski all over their front end trying to overtake. Has gone for a bit of a tactic here. Not sure if it will pay off, but we'll be surprised to see. They're currently on the hard compound. There's been a few drivers up and down the grid on the hard. It does mean they've dropped a few positions. They've just not got the grip that they need to put that power down, so a lot of the drivers haven't gone past. But it does mean that later on in the race they've got those supers available to them, and they can do nothing but set really fast laps. Digweed did have the fastest lap at one point during this race. I think they might still actually be holding on to it. It's probably dropped down as we've gone through quite a number of laps here. Lap 26 of 42. Digital Blasphemy also on the hard tyre. No surprises then, trying to fight off Noxie, who was on the medium. Alexis Maximus also on the hard. Clearly Mercedes are trying something here. Both their drivers are on the hard compound of tyre. We'll have just little reminders. The Mercedes do have the mediums available to them. The medium that the Williams of Noxie is on at the moment. Quite a few of our drivers spread out. Let's go on board with Noxie as they follow Alexis Maximus's Mercedes. Oh, have they left that door? Oh, that's a little bit of Okay, calm down there, Alexis. That's they did slow down and give the position back, but that was pretty cheeky there from Noxie. So Noxie saw the door open going into that hairpin, not covered off by Alexis Maximus, went for that lunge, thought I'll have that, didn't quite make it work unfortunately, and he subsequently nudged Alexis Maximus out, who I think, coming around that corner in a bit furious, didn't intentionally go to nudge Noxie. I think they just lit up their rear tyres a little bit too much and sent the back swing around and nudging the front of them. No harm done between the two of them though, and no positions lost, but quite a bit of distance lost between Noxie and Alexis Maximus, so we'll have to pay attention to that one a little bit later on. The other Williams though, of Pileski, miles ahead at the moment. Up in first, the Wolfbane of the Alpine team is into the pits. They're running a little bit low on fuel, seemingly getting through their fuel a lot quicker than the teammate SNL Jams. Both drivers pitted at the same time. I'm assuming with the same amount of fuel levels, which will be the 100% of course, leave until it's absolutely brimming. So interesting that the Alpine there of Wolfbane just training a little bit of fuel. Not too much more though, because SNL Jam probably has only got another lap left, and their supers are looking absolutely knackered. So could have been Wolfbane coming in, being a bit smarter with that fuel consumption and matching it a bit better to the tyre wear. Though SNL Jam doing very well holding on to these rather ragged looking super softs. Now Digweed, who did choose for the hards, which have had no degradation done to them whatsoever, surprise surprise, but is running on about just over a quarter tank of fuel. They do have coming up very close behind them, unfortunately for them, the Mercedes of Alexis Maximus, the Alpine of Wolfbane, and the Williams of Noxie, all coming very, very close. Will they be able to hold them off, or are they going to slip through the net? I can imagine that the much slower, that was a little bit cheeky from Wolfbane there. Goes for that inside line with Alexis Maximus. Maximus gets his elbows out, says, nah, not happening, mate, get out of it. Looks like Digweed in the hard compound there, just moving over to the side, try and break that toe, so none of them can work for it. So Alexis Maximus still holding on to the front of this group here. Digital Blasphemy just into the pits there. But Wolfsbane is not giving up without a fight. Little bit of a nudger in the back there saying, look, mate, you're braking at the wrong places. You can clearly go a bit faster through here. Giddy up, come on, we've got a show to get on here. Oh, where are we going? Sorry. Other one there. So no change of position. And Noxie in the Williams sitting behind thinking, if you two could both take each other out, that would make my day. Give me a lot less hassle to try and get past. Quite a bit of bumping we've got going on here between Wolfbane and Alexis Maximus. And in the meantime, you do have, nice, Wolfbane, Alexis Maximus leaving that door open rather consistently. We had the incident with Noxie on the lap before, leaves the door open. Wolfbane managing to get past Digweed there. I think Digweed just pulled over to the side, it seemed. Not too much going on. It looked like they might have messed up the hairpin, just got too slow, couldn't get the power down on those hards. Alexis Maximus shutting the door on Noxie there, just coming across the track, meaning they can't get past Noxie. Now stuck behind Alexis Maximus. Will we see another daring lunge from Noxie? Do they go down? Oh, they're certainly thinking about it. Alexis Maximus covering that apex. They've got Digweed in front of them, who's going to be causing them a whole load of hassle and traffic. They're not going to be able to go as quickly as they'd like to. Although Alexis Maximus also on the hards, probably very, very aware that they're not gonna be able to attack. Once Noxie gets through, that's it. There's going to be nothing stopping them from pulling away. It looked like we did have a bit of a driver up ahead. Just spin out. Could see a yellow flag. I think they might be all right now, although it looks like they have stopped. Could see a yellow flag. Oh, might change. Yeah, we've got the McLaren GT Racer there. It just seems to have pulled over onto the grass, moving out the way. Very nicely done there. Oh, Williams getting ever so close to the back of Lexus Maximus. Let's go on board with Noxie. Go for a little bumper view there. Oh, Lexus Maximus overcooked the tyres, I think, coming out of that. Doesn't seem to have much love for that hairpin, unfortunately. Losing a lot of grip coming out of that corner, lighting those rear wheels up, and unfortunately spinning it right out. Now we've got the Wolfbane Alpine and SNL Jams Alpine as well, both back into second and third. SNL Jam also having pitted now onto the hard compound, whereas the Wolfbane Alpine, is on the super soft. So pretty clear decision there for Wolfbane to come across, as no use wasting those super softs if he's going to be stuck behind his teammate Jam on the hard. He wants him to go as quickly as possible. Alexis Maximus, who was on the hard, probably wanting to be done and gotten rid of them as soon as possible, like right now in this pit stop. Peleski just clearing one of the Ferrari back markers there. The Jacques Chajard, the other Ferrari, into the pits. Ferrari doing very well not to re-overtake Peleski and ruin their race, although Peleski diving into the pits with their rather worn out looking mediums. They probably need to either jump onto the mediums or onto the hards. Will be interesting to see what they come out with, but at the moment you've got Digweed, who is on the hard and will need to pit, but there's such a distance now between them and Peleski that I think Digweed going on these hards probably hasn't paid off. With them going on them much earlier in the race than Peleski hasn't really paid off too much, unless Peleski has been held up in the pits for whatever reason, which I don't think they have. They're back out on the mediums with that Ferrari quickly in tow. Now, both Alpines, although on the track, there was still enough time for Peleski to slip that pit stop in there. The pit stops are about 20-30 seconds. Doing very well there. Noxie up into fourth, though they will need to pit at some point. This will probably be their last pit towards the end of the race. Same for Peleski now. So they've opted for the hard tyre. That'll be them done for the rest of the race. Wolfbane may need to pit. I'm not sure if they can get 10 laps out of just under half a tank of fuel. It could mean that the Alpine of Wolfbane will drop down the grid order in the last few stages of this. I'm not sure how much gap we've got between the drivers behind them. SNL Jam, although on the hard tyre there, looks to have absolutely no fuel at all on board. So they are both going to have to pit for another double stack Alpine pit stop. Noxie into the pits. Who else is going? So Digweed also into the pits. I'm guessing Guesty will have to go. Yeah, the red flag thing. So Alexis Maximus could jump quite a number of drivers as they're all into the pits, but they just need to get a bit of a shifty on, as they are on the opposite side of the track to the rest of the drivers that are all going to be going into the pits in the very near future. Peleski, on the other hand, seems they may already have this in the bag. Lovely gold-looking helmet there for Lexus Maximus. Very nicely done there. Sure we can have a little bit of a closer look on that one. No. Keyboard doesn't want to work for me. Well, I didn't want to look at it anyway. So Pilecki's still out in front. Wolfbane not convinced they're going to see that to the end, but hey, I am happy to be surprised. SNL Jam, as predicted, into the pits. Digweed also into the pits. Noxie also into the pits, along with Guesty too. Where will this leave Alexis Maximus? Can they jump a few more as they come through the chicane? Going through part of the chicane now. Getting a bit eager on those curves. Looks like Jam and Noxie already out of the pits. They may have jumped Digweed. Oof, Digweed, who was running quite high in the early stages of this race, seemingly strategy just has robbed them of a potential podium now. So they're down in 6th. So I believe that is the interesting that Noxie is on the hard compound here. They've only got to deal with that for another 9 laps though. Looks like all of our drivers, this may be it and then done for the rest, with the exception of GT Racer there. So look at just looking at Gazman here, who's getting blue flags. Doesn't seem to be moving out the way. Come on, Pilecki's leading the race here, mate. You need to pay attention to these blue flags. Give way to faster cars. Could see a penalty if they don't move out the way quick enough. They may think that they are not slowing them down, but trying to follow behind any driver in this race absolutely ruins any sort of aero, particularly the front aero. You lose a lot of grip and end up understeering going into some of these corners. This is a significant amount of time that Gazman has not allowed Pilecki through. I'm not just being silly here, but yeah, it should be pretty obvious that they are being blue flagged and that they are in the rear view mirror there. Again, they may feel that Pilecki's just not going quick enough for Gazman to move out of the way. But at the same time, Gazman is sitting down, I believe, in 10th with their main competitor, GT Racer, District Blasphemy, absolutely miles away from them. Ooh, still being blue flagged even after 1 lap. They did set a personal best, so they set a 1:35.3. Oh, they're holding up Pilecki there, who's done a 1:36. Do bear in mind though, Pilecki's on the hard compound, so they're not going to be setting any of their any fastest laps, I think, on those ones. Our previous fastest lap holder was Digweed, I think. Wolfbane at the moment saying a 1:32.9. Ooh, Jam did a 1:32.4, but it's in the red for some reason. Who knows? Has Pilecki finally managed to clear that Ferrari? I don't think they have. And their tyres are really suffering. See them lighting up there. And is that the Alpine of Wolfbane behind? Yes, it is. Ooh, that was a bit of a vicious nudge there. There was a gap that was no longer there, mate. I am very surprised they haven't chosen to give that position back to Pilecki. That was pretty cheeky. I think they forced themselves way through there, but they've probably not got enough fuel on board to see them to the end of the race. So that first position is probably going to be very short-lived, especially when those supers are looking absolutely bedraggled. And there we go. The fuel light is on. They've got less than a lap of fuel left behind. Pilecki is falling a bit behind. I think it's just those hard compound of tyres, and really not the favourite tyre compound. Absolutely no grip to be had on them at all. Oh, Wolfbane into the pits, colliding with the Armco on the way in, just for good measure, because why not? Now, their teammate, SNL Jam, coming round, Spoon, onto the back straight. Can they get out of the pits before SNL Jam gets there? I think they may be able to. We've got a driver facing the wrong way. Oh, that's the Red Bull of Digweed. what has happened there? They got pretty much a lot of damage to their front wing and front right tire. So going around, just got that rear left onto the gravel. Fortunately, meant that with the little amount of grip coming from from the gravel, unfortunately this is not off-roading, means they've spun themselves right round down into 8th. Paleski still back into first position, taking it off of Wolfbane, who pretty much strong-armed them into it, and then proceeded to somewhat run out of fuel, or run low on fuel, have to go back into the pits. They do get out ahead of SNL Jam, going through the S's at the moment, so S Jam on one end of them and Wolfbane on the other. There's about 6 laps left. I'm not sure if it's enough for them to catch each other, but Jam will be wanting to get as many points as possible. As we mentioned earlier, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take that championship lead away from Cthulhu. Noxie, though, looking in the other Williams, making a rather large Alpine sandwich between themselves and Paleski. Wolfbane and Jam being the Alpine filling, and Alexis Maximus and that Mercedes down in 5th. That's not doing them a world of wonder in terms of team championship points. They really need to be a lot higher up the grid, and with their teammate, who Digital Blasphemy is falling right behind. Let's go back there. What was Jacques Jajar, I believe, getting around GT Racer, the McLaren, one of the back markers there. So yeah, Digital Blasphemy. That's the right button. Digital Blasphemy there. Down in 9th. Gazman of the other Ferrari. Are they still being blue flagged by Paleski? I think this might be one of the few issues. There's not many of GT Sport, but one of the few is that you do get a blue flag quite early, perhaps too soon for when the car behind you is going faster. As we go on board with Paleski again, just having a look, it's quite a bit that Gazman would need to have to lift off to allow Paleski to go through, but at the same time, Paleski doesn't seem to be gaining a huge amount. So they can blue flag them all they want, but Paleski on those hards is probably not going to catch Gazman much. If anything, they'll get past Gazman, and then there'll be the awkwardness of Gazman just overtaking them again, having to, because they're just not quick enough. Do we have any more battles going on as we come into the final stages? Only 5 laps left. Seems that a lot of our drivers are all very evenly spread out. How dare they? We've got our Digital Blasphemy currently sitting in 9th. Yeah, well, you've got Gazman, who is... There is a... there we go. It's GT Racer was the other car there, making up that 4. That's not too close, really. You've mainly got Paleski just trying to clear a number of back markers, if and when they can. Wolfbane and SNL Jam should be a good haul of points for the Alpine team here. Still glitching a little bit there, Wolfbane. Sets a personal best sector. Nicely done there. Will we see any more last minute dashes for a fastest lap? Probably not. Both Williams are on the hard compound. They've done a Mercedes there. Both drivers going on the same compound at the same time. Perhaps quite a few team principal orders going on. And so begins the train of tow, where we've got Paleski desperately trying to clear the back marker of Gazman, who's now trying to clear the back marker of GT Racer. Oh, GT Racer just cutting in front there. Didn't quite let them through. Once again, yeah, it doesn't look like Paleski's catching them a whole great deal. certainly they're not slowing Pileski down, which is a great thing. If just comparing where Pileski going around the turn 2 there, just as Wolfbane in second comes across the start-finish line. So quite a sizable difference between the two. Is there enough of a distance though that Pileski could throw in a little cheeky another pit stop, maybe try and go for a fastest lap, although they've only got the medium tyre compound available to them, so might not be able to set any real fastest laps. Only 3 laps left of this race. GT Racer pulling over to the side. Clearly, if GT Racer can pull over to the side, move out of the way for the blue flags, see no reason why Gazman cannot do the same thing. Hint, hint, wink, wink, cough, cough. As it does appear that Pileski has now managed to close that gap quite a bit. So it should be blindingly obvious that those blue flags are indeed for Gazman. Notifying them to 3 seconds off pace through that sector alone. That's quite a bit. Whether that's the hard or whether that's just because they're trying to clear these back markers, I think it's a bit of both, to be honest, as they'll be losing quite a bit of grip on that front downforce and understeering, I suspect, through a number of these corners. I mean, those hards aren't the grippiest things, but they've still got some manner of grip. Just locking up there from Gazman, now right on the bumper. Come on, he's right there. Who exactly are you racing here, my friend? It's, oh yeah, runs a bit wide there, comes across the track, and don't think that was deliberate, but they at least have now moved out of the way. So we'll see if Pileski can set any fastest laps. Does mean that there is a bit of traffic between Wolfbane and Pileski. Wolfbane on the supers that they should have gained quite a bit of ground between themselves and Pileski after Pileski's having to clear. Ooh, not if they're going to be going a little bit wide there and getting the oversteer. Oh, apparently into the arm code. That was a bit of a glitch, but we'll ignore that. So yeah, after having cleared all the traffic now, Pileski really want to get their foot down and get moving. We've got one of the back markers, I think. Is that McLaren? Yeah, McLaren just trimming the grass, all whilst also moving out of the way of Wolfbane. Why not? As you're there. We've got SNL Jam sitting in third, coming up into Spoon. Knox has a very nice helmet, just spying through there. Lexus Maximus holding on to fifth. They were under threat from Guesty not too far ago, but I think the hard tyre looks like Guesty's probably pitted at some point. Has dropped them back just a little bit. The Ferrari of Jacques Chachard's sitting in seventh. Quite a bit of degradation on the mediums, but should be enough to last them to the end of the race. However, they have got Digweed, who equally on the same amount of degradation, albeit on the supers, is how do we write down? Could we see them overtake Jacques Chachard for seventh before the end of the race? It could be possible. Still all to play for here. Now you've got Digital Blasphemy now forming the back marker, trying to move out the way. Yeah, they do eventually manage to move out the way for Pileski to come through. Key, they don't really want to slow down too much though, as they've got the Ferrari of Gazman in 10th very close behind them. So they don't want to slow down and fall back too much, and they'll be in the clutches of the Gazman. Not a whole heap of trouble going on at the front of the grid, which is probably great for them in these closing stages of the race. Less to stress about. However, not too much for me to talk about. Now our top 3 drivers in the championship at the moment. We take a little look-see there. Just as a reminder, we have Cthulhu, SNL Jam and Alexis Maximus. Noxie sitting in 4th at the moment with Jacques Chachard, in 6th with only 8 points difference. Pileski in 8th with 82 points. Not sure there's enough. Could be a bit of a swing though if they get that win. Another 25 points to them. They're currently joint with GT Racer. Rather bookends of this race with Pileski in first and GT Racer in 11th, and yet they're both on the same amount of points. Oh, I think I just saw Mercedes, hopefully not of Alexis Maximus. No, I think it may have been the other Mercedes of Digital Blasphemy then, just going off and going a bit wide. Has left them a bit susceptible to Gazman behind. Gazman, who is on the medium tyre compound, but they have got a lot more degradation on their tyre compared to Digital Blasphemy. Struggling for grip, it seems. Let's just join back, keep an eye on these two, see if anything happens. You've got Pileski just up ahead. They're both being blue flagged once again. Of course they are. The story of today, or at least the closing stages. I'm not sure they're going to do it. So Pileski coming around the final corner on our final lap, celebrating there. That's a great race, a great drive from them. Very well done, a well-deserved win for Pileski there. Wolfbane also coming across the line. Wasn't too much gap in it there. But towards the end, I think a few more laps, and they may have managed to track down Pileski, probably even go for an overtake. But unfortunately, that's where it finished there. Wolfbane came in second, and coming in third across the line, the other Alpine. Great haul of points it'll be for those two Alpines. SNL Jam coming in third position. Noxie now two coming across the last corner, across the start-finish line to take fourth position. Guesty, who has taken that place away from Alexis Maximus after all that, although coming into this straight now, Alexis Maximus may have enough of a toe that they could slip round behind, unless they happen to run out of fuel, which they may very well have done, and will be falling back. Played that a little bit too close for comfort, I think there. Guesty just making their way through the chicane. Can they hold off Alexis Maximus before the end? I think they can. There's just too much of a gap there. Guesty comes in sixth. Guesty comes in fifth. Alexis Maximus coming in sixth there. We've got Digweed coming across the line to take seventh with Jacques Chajard. I'm going to pause it there because that'll be that'll stop the race. So our leader and winner of today's race was Pileski, taking first position. Great drive from them today. Wolfbane coming in second, taking that second place podium, with SNL Jam making up the rest of the podium, take third position. Noxie comes in fourth. Fifth is Guesty. Sixth, Alexis Maximus. Digweed got the fastest lap in the end. They set that one back. Usually it tells me at the bottom, but it's not going to tell me today. So they set that lap on was a 1:32.332. They set that quite early on in the race, actually, if I remember correctly. They come in seventh. Jacques Chajard makes up eighth. Digital Blasphemy coming in ninth, with Gazman in 10th and GT Racer in ninth. This does mean, though, if we look at the championship tables and where this has left our drivers, we'll do the drivers' championship first. Cthulhu is still our championship winner for this season of Sunday Night League Formula X. They have won. They had 210 points in the end. SNL Jam didn't quite manage to pip them to it, but gave them a good run for it. They had 191 points in the end. Alexis Maximus held on to that third position after all that with 140 points. Noxie kept fourth with 126 points. Jacques Chajard, 108 to take fifth. Pileski, 107, just that 1 point away from it. Could have done with that fastest lap, perhaps right at the end there, but maybe a bit too close to throw in a cheeky fastest lap for a pit stop as well. Matt Psycho coming in seventh with 101 points. Little's GP with 94 points in eighth. Guesty makes it up into ninth with 91 points. GT Racer gets 87 points for 10th. Then we have CSL Wolfbane in 11th with 80 points, just 1 point ahead of Digweed in 12th with 79. Digital Blasphemy has 70 points in 13th. Pheasant Plucker in 14th with 56 points. Intulio finishes the championship in 15th with 43. Tommy Paynes with 35 in 16th. BRC Jim takes 17th position in the championship with 33. Gazman in 18th with 28 points. I'm Stupid has 14. Pat's 96 and GD Trust both joint have 12. OKC Ranger finishes our championship table with 6 points in 22nd. But our winner for this season's championship is Cthulhu with 210 points. Very well done there. Now looking over to the team's championship. Did we have the jump that we thought we would see? And I believe we did. Red Bull still holds on to that first position with 317 points. Although not too far behind with 297 points, we had the Alpine team. Great chunk of points they got for today. And in third, Williams jumping up from near the bottom in that mid section. They get 261 points. Absolute great haul of points from both Pileski and Noxie there, who came in first and fourth. Great for them. Aston Martin comes in fourth in the championship tables with the teams with 239, just pipping Ferrari, who had 233 in fifth. Mercedes got 230 in the end, that sixth position, leaving McLaren in seventh with 194 points. That's our wrap for this season. Sunday Night League's Formula X series. We'll be back for our third season soon later in the year. I think probably about a month or so ago. We're just wrapping things up, getting drivers on board, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. So thank you all very much for listening. That's goodbye for me. Bye for now.